the person that you marry has a front driver's seat in terms of deciding or determining how your destiny goes. They can make or break you in all ways possible. Hello, you guys. Happy Sunday and welcome to Sunday Tea. I am Nobukumano. If it's your first time here, you're very, very welcome. And if you're coming back, thank you for your continued support. And whether you're new, whether you're old, please make sure that you subscribe by clicking the subscribe button right below. Before even going any further, I need to clear up some allegations. Now, I've seen that a few of you are accusing me of not drinking my tea or waiting until the video is over and then by the time I drink it, it's cold. And some of you are saying I should stick to juice. First of all, guys, I am actually drinking my tea during the video. But then when I get to the end of it, I'm like, this want to see me sipping tea? Like, it's weird when I'm talking, and then like, there's a random... And then I continue. So I usually cut out those parts. I don't know if I'm going to keep them in this video. I guess you're just going to have to find out. And today's month, actually, I was gifted this on Christmas by my Malugazana Mrora, who is my cousin's wife. So they came to visit us over Christmas and they gifted us this. And I'd actually forgotten about it. Then I found it and I was like, this is such a thoughtful and perfect gift, and who would have known that Sunday tea would come up and now I'm using this, So yeah. Today I'm actually drinking milk with cinnamon. The cup is already halfway, but I'm drinking milk with cinnamon. So anyway, in last week's video, I spoke about, the things that no amount of counseling or anything can prepare you for. And in one of those days, I did say that love is not enough. And I thought, let me expand on this one this week. I think a lot of us have fallen in love with someone and, it consumes us and, it's floating and lovey-dovey and all that in terms of like the heart and the intensity of the feelings. But when you look at when you take a moment and you step outside, or maybe it's not you, or maybe people around you, take a moment to look at your relationship from the outside, they're like, I never would have guessed you'd end up with someone like this, right? You guys don't quite seem like a fit, or even you realize yourself that this person is not the person that I would ideally date, and you're like, but I love them, but hey, me, how we say we have a type, but you're like, this is not my type, but the feelings, are intense, and so you love your person, you adore them, the feelings are mutual and they are fine, but like, are you actually compatible? And so I was reading a lot about what compatibility is, and I think first thing to say that compatibility is not about liking the same thing, thinking the same exact way, sort of being a mirror of each other. It's not about that, but it's about having commonalities, like having the things that are fundamental to you and the foundational aspects of your relationship being things that you can easily agree on, and having a shared outlook on life in general. The person that you marry has a front driver's seat in terms of deciding or determining how your destiny goes. They can make or break you in all ways possible. So the decision about who you marry isn't a decision that should just be taken based on feelings and how we like this person or how they tick a lot of the superficial boxes, but it should really be about whether you are equally yoked and whether you are aligned. Even the Bible does say, like, can two work together except they be agreed, right? So it's talking about, can two people actually work towards a common cause? Can two people actually make strides and build unless they are agreed? And it even says, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. And a lot of us run away with that unequally yoked with unbelievers as far as only the religious part is concerned. But we forget all the other aspects of compatibility, all the other aspects of equal yoking. I was just reflecting, thinking back on my journey, dating people, and even the guy that I'm married to right now, who I believe, I'm very compatible with. I had things that were no-brainers for me, that were like deal breaker, so to speak, in terms of compatibility. Listen, this is what mattered to me. It might not matter in the same way to you, but it mattered to me. And when I was reading up on it, it seemed like generally these are things that a person should be thinking about when they think about whether they're compatible with the person that they like and are dating and are thinking of marrying them. For me, being a spiritual and religious person, number one on the top of my list was a common belief system. I cannot overemphasize the importance of believing in the same thing. And for me, it wasn't just about being a Christian, because we know that Christianity, yes, fundamentally is about, being like Christ and we all believe in God, but like there are many different facets of Christianity and a lot of different beliefs that different Christian groups have. And so for me, it wasn't just about that this person believe in God, but it was that this person believe in God and all the other principles that I subscribe to. So some of you may or may not know, but I am Seventh-day Adventist. And so for me, it was a no-brainer that whoever I'm going to marry is going to have to be Seventh-day Adventist. And not just a Seventh-day Adventist in terms of membership by having their name in the books, because there are many people who maybe were baptized younger and are Seventh-day Adventist in the books, but are not practicing Seventh-day Adventist. So for me, it went a step further to say, okay, you claim to be Seventh-day Adventist, but do you actually practice and believe the things that Seventh-day Adventists and I believe in? Do you observe the Sabbath? Do you believe in the general fundamental beliefs around tithing, around what we should eat or not eat, what we should wear and not wear, the jobs we should take and not take, etc. And I'll tell you why, But it's just the two of you. It's easy to just say love conquers all. As long as we love each other, it's going to be fine. We're going to work through things, right? But marriage is complicated and has a lot of compromise and decision making and a lot of friction that you will face. And I believe, as a bare minimum, belief should not be one of them. Especially considering that there will come a time where you're going to have kids and they're going to be involved in that. How are you going to navigate that? It's one of those where you can't just say, we'll wait and see, because as you grow and grow kids, you have to be teaching them something. You have to be instilling some beliefs in them, right? So what are you going to teach your kids in a household where the other equal party does not believe in that? Like, how will you navigate that? And like I'm saying, for some people, it's not really a deal breaker, and there are ways to work around it. You go to each other's churches, you will learn more about each other, etc. That is well and fine. And in some cases, actually, one ends up being converted to the other church, and that's good. But for me, I just didn't want to have that difficulty. And so for me, that was one of the no-brainers. I had to marry a Seventh-day Adventist. Second thing for me, intellectual compatibility. I'm generally I'm trying to be humble, but I'm generally an intelligent person, and I have a certain outlook in terms of life. Like the way I think, the way I reason, I'm interested in a lot of things. I'm continuously learning, and I'm a critical thinker, etc. And for me, it was very, very important to have someone who is my intellectual match, right? Someone who I can actually go head to head, with in terms of intellectual discussion, intellectual debate. Someone I feel can challenge me mentally and push me to grow and to expand my knowledge and expand my brain to become better. I've always generally been a high flyer, and so I kind of knew that my life was going to take a trajectory where I'm going to have to be very intellectually apt, and I'm going to be in spaces where I'm going to be surrounded by people who are very intellectual and intelligent, and I'm going to need someone who gets it, who gets it, and who challenges me and can help me grow, not just in the workspace, but I'll want someone who, when I'm with them and with their friends and with my friends, I'm proud to have them stand on their own and have a take on a political or social, economic conversation, and I trust their judgment. I'm sure some of us have seen those couples where you can visibly see that their partner does not trust them to have an opinion that other people respect. And for me, that's always just been cringe, and I honestly just thought I don't think I ever want to be in a position where I have to protect my partner from discussions because I'm afraid they might embarrass me. I needed someone who's my intellectual match, who is going to be an equal, at least as far as intellect goes. Coupled with that is, do we share a common vision for the future? And this is something that is very, very important. Unless if you're dating for fun. I have never been a dating for fun person. I wasn't saying please me and marry me tomorrow, but I needed to know what our future is going to look like. I did tell you in the very first video about marrying young that the moment we started dating, my husband, then boyfriend, told me that he was going to wife me, So now it meant that right from the start of the relationship, yes, we were getting to know each other, we were navigating life, but as a bare minimum, we knew that we're not playing games or working towards marriage. And some things could have happened and could have broken up. But I mean, we were not just floating and winging it and going along and waiting to see what would happen. So things like knowing what you want for the future. Even in the marriage, do we both want kids or not? That's another question that's important, because it's something that you just can't meet halfway on, right? It's either one person wants kids or the other person doesn't want kids. Do you believe that one of us should stay at home and be a full-time present parent, or should we both work? In terms of the vision that we have for our future, where do we see ourselves? Are we going to move out of the country? How are we going to build our wealth? Are we planning to, work until a certain age, or are we planning to start a business? Just a general vision for the future. And I know sometimes it feels like these conversations are too heavy to have, but remember, I'm thinking about you are now considering possibly marrying this person. So you've known them long enough. And I feel like some of these things can even come up even in casual conversation, even in the first month or two of the relationship. It doesn't have to be a sit down, let's talk about it. What are your goals for the future, right? But you can tell the nuances. You can read how a person thinks and what a person feels about certain subjects, even from casual, unrelated conversations. Their views on certain topics, what they believe, the home that they grew up in, because it can shape all that. I was reading a tweet the other day that I said, the one thing that scares me most about marriage is that you are going to have to settle to the level of ambition of your partner. You would have had these dreams of growing your wealth and your career and all that, but then this person is just okay with a small, little, tiny, comfortable career and small, little, tiny house, and you kind of just have to be okay with it and accept them. I don't quite think that's the way it works. I feel if you applied your mind even before you got married, you would have known most of these things before you decided to marry them. Now, people do change, so someone's ideas and ideals may change up and switch up on you. In that case, then, when you had the chance, you did the best you could, you are certain, and this person told you a certain thing, and there's no way you could have known they would have changed. I think that's a different and a better thing to accept, to say, I made the best decision with the best knowledge that I had at that time, than to live in that regret of, I should have known this before, or I knew this is what they thought and I thought I could change them. I think that's a very important thing. And then another thing for me that was very, very, very key is financial compatibility. Now again, I'm not saying on the very first day you guys must sit down and drop a budget together. But again, you can tell a person's financial habits through small little things. So for example, when you get them a gift, are they grateful because it's a thoughtful gift, even if it was inexpensive? Or are they the type of person who cares so much about how much it costs or the price tag? So someone will say, how could you buy me a cheap this? How could you, it only costs so much, Are they a person who is so fixated on how much things cost and how expensive they look and how it looks for the gram, for example? Or are they a person who values thoughtfulness? That already is another key. Are they a person who is always chasing the trends, right? Who at any cost is going to get the most expensive bag, the most expensive shoe or whatever? Like, we all like a nice thing here and there. I have a few, vain purchases that I make, but I didn't make them out of this is the in thing. Everyone's doing it. We all got to have it. We don't have the money. We're going to have to find a way. We have to find a way to move things around to make this work. Are they a person who's vain financially? What are their spending habits like? Are they a person who has a healthy relationship with money? What do they think about saving? What do they think about investing? All those things. It's very easy to tell with how a person spends their money and splurges their money. When they get paid, are they suddenly a blesser who's just swiping away? Or are they responsible, and do they take a moment to think? I was reading somewhere that apparently there's a direct correlation between the number or the frequency of arguments around finances and divorce. I did say, I think in another video, that apparently financial issues are right at the top there of the reasons why couples end up divorcing. And I believe a lot of these things we can see them earlier on. That's another thing for me where I was like, I need to know your financial habits, my guy. And I really like that my then boyfriend, now husband, was very transparent with me even when we were still dating. I knew how much he earned. He got a second bank card made for me. So I actually had access to his account and I could buy stuff and swipe stuff. And I was still a student then. He was upfront about the financial mistakes that he had made when he was younger and was new to money. So I knew the things that he was working on and working towards. And because of that, I've seen him grow over the years in terms of how responsible he is with money right now. And for me, the fact that he had made mistakes wasn't a deal breaker, because the fact that you realize you made a mistake shows that you're thinking and reflecting about the decisions that you make. Top of my head, these are the things for me that were undebatable, things, non-debatable, things that just had to align or we were not. And like I said earlier, it's not about thinking the exact same way, because again, you do not want to marry someone who is exactly like you, because where's the fun in that, right? If you know, if a person is exactly like you, you're both extroverted, you're both frugal, it sucks the fun out of life, because you're not challenged each and every time to learn and to grow and accept and see things in a different light. But it's being able to say, even where we don't quite see things the same way, we can come together and reason through them. Being able to reason through them and objectively see which one is the best way forward. And decide on the best course of action, not based off of feelings, but based off objective facts and what is best for the relationship. So yeah, love is not enough in that. Love is such an abstract feeling, and we just don't we don't have control over what the heart wants. We've all loved a person we were not supposed to love, or just liked or fall in love with a person we were not supposed to. And it's a very hearty, warm, fuzzy feeling, matters of the heart, where the heart wants what it wants. But you have to apply your mind and your brain to it also if you're going to make a wise decision. So, I don't know, maybe Angelo over there, and there's this guy that you like and love so much, but you can see that, man, the things just don't gel. We're clashing too much. Maybe just take a step back and think, why do we just fail to have a common shared idea? Maybe you're already married and you're realizing you're not compatible. Unfortunately, touch is a move. You're just going to have to find ways to cultivate that, if it can be cultivated, or to grow it if it can be grown, because we don't divorce over here because you don't like the person that you married. That doesn't happen. You're just going to have to learn to live with your decision and find ways to make it work now that you've done so. Yeah, I hope this was fun for you as much as it was fun for me. If you liked it, literally click the like button and share it with your peeps, and let me know what your views are. Have you dated someone who, when you eventually got out of the relationship, you're like, but thank God I got out of it, because that person just wasn't for me? I'd love to hear your experiences with this Jolo thing. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys again next time. Goodbye.